honest question for you. By the way, what's the difference between like a regular question and an honest question? Like, couldn't I have just said question for you? No, because this question is honest and it's not lying.
Me, I'm dishonest. And a dishonest man you can always trust to be dishonest. Honestly.
10 seconds in and I'm already digressing. So my question for you is, what is your goal in paying off debt? Is it to pay it off in less than 30 years? How about in less than 5 years? Do you want to pay it off completely in less than 5 years, all while, let's say, buying a new house, buying a new car, getting married, having a kid, get a gym membership, all while making about, let's say, $60,000 a year? Honestly, if that's your goal, more power to you. Go out and do it. And if you do it, please, dear God, let me know how you did it. If your goal is to pay your debt off completely and as fast as humanly possible, I'm pretty sure there's only one best way to do that. And it's not easy. It's not easy because according to the book we're talking about today, and come here, I'll let you in a little secret here. Winning at money is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I realized from the book Total Money Makeover.
The bottom line is,
read a book, people.
If you've decided that you want to pay off your debt in the fastest possible way, then this book is a how-to. Now, before we get to the how-to part, if you could please like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. But let's get to what you came for, the content. Dave Ramsey's 7 baby steps to getting out of debt are a really, really good framework for you to operate in on your debt-free journey. Now let's start with the first, because where's a better place to start than 1? Or how about this? We'll start at 3, jump to 5, scramble some eggs, go to 7, then head back to 1. Okay, just to simplify this. Just kidding, we'll start at 1. First baby step is to save $1,000 really fast. If you're working on a $40,000 per year income or a $50K per year income, something like that, I'm assuming that you can do this in probably a month or 2. This is if you're really focused. I mean, you gotta really focus on doing this and set all your other stuff aside and focus on saving this emergency fund. The second baby step is the debt snowball. This is where we start to give up speed for psychological victories. So if you're not familiar, the debt snowball is where, let's just say you have 2 loans. One loan is for $10,000 and your interest rate is 3%. Your second loan is also for $10,000 and your interest rate is 5%. The debt snowball says your psychological victory needs to come first. So you're gonna pay off your 3% loan and then you're gonna tackle your 5% loan. Now the opposite of this is the debt avalanche, to where we reverse the order and you're gonna start paying down your 5% loan first, and then the last loan you'll pay off is that 3% loan. The debt avalanche helps you save money, and you actually save more money in the long term using the debt avalanche. The debt snowball is about the psychological victory of paying your lowest loans off first, your lowest interest loans rather, and accumulating that success early. Now, depending on the amount of debt you have, the debt snowball or debt avalanche, whatever you choose to go with, it might take you quite a long time. You could be there for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the case may be. But once you've finished baby step 2, you can now move on to baby step 3, which is finishing your emergency fund. Now, in baby step 1, when we set aside $1,000 for your emergency fund, this was to combat Murphy's Law. Now, Murphy's Law means that anything that can happen will happen, and it seems like when you're broke, everything just seems to come at you. Every emergency possible, every 3, 4, 5 months, something happens. When we get to step 3, finishing the emergency fund, this actually tends to kick Murphy out of the house, as Dave Ramsey would put it. There are different levels to finishing the emergency fund. A good rule of thumb would be to have 3 to 6 months of expenses put away just in case the rain starts to pour a little harder. After we complete our emergency fund, baby step 4 will be to maximize your retirement savings. Conventional ways of doing this would be to max out your 401k, get that company match. For different people, this can be malleable. Some people like to invest outside of those, sort of conventional ways of getting a retirement or earning a retirement. So whatever you want to do in that situation to maximize your retirement, you can get creative. Bitcoin to the moon! Once your retirement is maximized, you can then move on to baby step number 5, which is college funding. Damn those kids in that college education. I actually learned in this book that there is such a thing as an educational savings account, or ESA. This account grows tax-free if it's used for higher education. And if your income is less than $200,000 per year, right here, that means you can spend $2,000 a year on this ESA. Now we'll wrap baby steps 6 and 7 together. Number 6 is to pay off your home mortgage, and number 7 is to build wealth like crazy. Okay, now that we've got all the 7 baby steps together, go ahead and just put those in a box really quick and set them off to the side. What I realized in reading this book is that if you want to pay off your debt completely in the fastest possible way there is, you have to put your emphasis on doing this one thing with your money. If you're in a situation like I described at the beginning of this video, where you're making 50 to 60K a year and you're trying to do all these things like buy your house, upgrade a car, do all these things that involve spreading your wealth in ways that can't be done if you want to pay off your debt in a really, really fast amount of time, you're not going to make the journey of being debt-free. At least not in the fastest way possible, because achieving one goal is easier than achieving 3. If your goal in becoming debt-free is to do it in the fastest possible way, this method is, I think, the best way to go. But like I said, it will not be easy. And by easy, I mean, if you want to do a lot of things like take vacations and buy a new car or buy a house, I don't think those things are the smartest moves to make if your goal is to pay off your debt. You know, something has to be sacrificed here. You can sacrifice the vacations and the luxury items and things like that for the peace of mind that later on down the road, you're going to be debt-free and, as Dave Ramsey would say, be able to live like no one else. But you have to sacrifice something. You can either sacrifice becoming debt-free, or you can sacrifice the luxury items. And listen, I'm not saying that this method is what you should do. I think you should do whatever you're comfortable with. I said at the beginning that winning at money is 80% behavior and 20% head knowledge. Now, if you want help in understanding how to figure out what you are comfortable with and getting in the proper headspace to formulate your financial mindset, I recommend reading The Psychology of Money, which you can watch my review for that right here. So again, what I realized from Dave Ramsey's book, Total Money Makeover, is that if you want to pay off your debt completely and in the fastest way possible, you have to go single-mindedly at that goal. There can be nothing else. You have to put all your financial power behind your motivation to be debt-free. Give yourself that one goal, eliminate all of the others, and you might be surprised, in a really short amount of time, you could be debt-free. And by short amount of time, that could range anytime between 1 year or 5 years. But just think of all you can do with the money that doesn't have to go towards an interest payment or a student loan payment. When you start to think of that end in mind, I think that that's a pretty powerful thing. So if you're starting your debt-free journey here soon, as my wife and I will be starting ours, I wish you all the best. Good luck to you. I hope you stick to it, whatever method you choose, and we'll see you for the next video.